Deep in the frozen mountains of another world, an alien princess named Lyra escaped from a destroyed kingdom. Her silver armor was cracked, and blood covered her hands. Enemy hunters searched the forest with glowing weapons. Snow fell across the dark land while burning ships crashed from the sky. Lyra moved slowly through the trees. Her breath became weak. She held a crystal sphere close to her chest. It carried the final memory of her people. Suddenly a loud growl echoed behind her. A massive black panther stepped from the shadows. Its yellow eyes locked onto her face. Lyra raised a blade with fear in her shaking hands. The black panther circled her without making a sound. Its body moved like flowing darkness across the snow. Lyra whispered that she did not want to fight. The creature stopped near her and smelled the blood on her arm. Strange marks on the panther began glowing blue. Lyra realized this was not a normal animal. It carried ancient energy connected to her own race. Faraway enemy soldiers entered the forest. Their machines scanned every living creature. Red lights moved between the trees. Lyra tried to walk again but collapsed into the snow. The panther watched silently for a moment, then lowered itself beside her. Lyra slowly touched its fur. The panther allowed it. Without warning, the creature grabbed her cloak gently with its teeth and dragged her deeper into the forest. The panther carried Lyra into hidden caves beneath the mountains. Ancient symbols covered the walls. Blue crystals glowed from the ceiling like stars. Lyra looked around with shock. The symbols matched the language of her ancestors. The panther walked toward a stone altar and sat beside it like a guardian. Lyra placed the crystal sphere onto the altar. The cave suddenly shook. A glowing image appeared above the sphere. It showed an ancient war between her people and dark invaders. Giant beasts fought beside alien warriors. Among those beasts stood black panthers with glowing eyes. Lyra understood the truth. These panthers once protected the royal bloodline of her planet. The panther stared directly into her eyes. Lyra slowly bowed her head with respect. Outside the cave, explosions shook the mountain. Enemy soldiers had found the entrance. Red laser lights filled the darkness. The panther stood up and released a deep roar that echoed through every tunnel. Enemy troops stormed inside with heavy weapons. Their leader ordered Lyra to surrender. She refused and grabbed a fallen energy rifle. The panther attacked first. It moved faster than any machine could track. Soldiers screamed as shadows tore through their lines. Sparks and blood covered the cave floor. One soldier aimed directly at Lyra. Before he fired, the panther jumped in front of her. The blast struck the panther in the chest. The creature crashed against the rocks with pain. Lyra screamed and shot the soldier through the head. Silence filled the cave except for the weak breathing of the panther. Lyra dropped beside the wounded creature. Blood flowed across its black fur. The panther looked at her quietly without fear. Lyra pressed her forehead against its head and whispered that she would not leave it behind. More enemy ships arrived outside. Time was running out. Lyra carried the panther through secret tunnels beneath the mountain. Enemy forces chased them through the darkness. The cave began collapsing from explosions. Rocks crashed around them while fire spread across the tunnels. Lyra struggled to keep moving while carrying the heavy creature. At the end of the tunnel, they reached an ancient chamber holding a forgotten spacecraft. Symbols glowed across the walls as the crystal sphere activated the ship. Engines awakened after thousands of years. Enemy soldiers entered the chamber and surrounded Lyra. Their leader stepped forward and demanded the crystal sphere. He promised to spare her life if she surrendered. Lyra looked down at the wounded panther lying beside her. The creature slowly stood again despite its injuries. It growled with fierce loyalty. The enemy leader laughed and called the panther a worthless beast. In 1 second, the panther launched itself toward him. Chaos exploded across the chamber. Soldiers opened fire from every direction. Lyra activated the spacecraft weapons, while the panther tore through the enemy line with savage fury. The chamber burned with smoke and screaming metal. The panther protected Lyra from every attack. Even after multiple wounds, it refused to fall. Finally, the enemy leader aimed a powerful cannon directly at Lyra. The panther saw the attack and jumped in front of her again. The blast struck the panther with devastating force. The creature crashed to the ground, motionless. Lyra froze in horror. Rage consumed her mind. She unleashed the full power of the crystal sphere. Blue energy exploded through the chamber and destroyed every remaining enemy soldier. Silence returned. Lyra slowly walked toward the panther. Tears fell down her face. She knelt beside the creature and touched its burned fur. The panther opened its eyes one final time. Weak breathing escaped from its chest. Lyra whispered that its loyalty saved the last princess of a dying world. The panther gently pressed its head into her hand before its eyes closed forever. The ancient spacecraft doors opened behind Lyra. The engines roared like thunder across the mountain. Lyra carried the body of the panther into the ship and placed it beside the royal throne. She stared out at the burning planet through the glass windows. As the spacecraft rose into the sky, the stars reflected across the panther's black fur. Lyra swore that every future kingdom she built would remember the creature that gave its life for her survival. The ship disappeared into deep space, while the ruined planet burned silently beneath the stars.